Name an interview, name a historic event, American Indian boarding schools, and attempt culture coincident. Culture genocide, active suppression of another group's culture by a dominant group on the basis of the alleged infirmity of subordinates. Group's culture traditions. In this case, the subordinated group is American Indians and the domain group is white Americans. Why were these boarding schools established? They were meant to assimilate American Indian children into white society. Many thought of this as a form of attempt culture genocide, meaning it was an attempt by white society to suppress or get rid of their American Indian culture traits. Perception of American Indians. Indians were thought of as barbarians. Men and women had very segregation roles. There was a necessity to assimilate them out of their culture to that of the white nominated culture. Why would they go? You might ask. Why American Indians would even go to these schools? They were co-seated in 1891. There was a law passed that many is mandatory, that you had to attend school. There was a movement to educate girls in general, and then specifically focused was on American Indian girls. This was called domestic science, or what they studied was called this. What did this cause? Trauma to the children because the schools were far from their families. The children didn't know if they would see their families again. Since it was a boarding school, it was very difficult. Religion was taught. They were Christian based. They learned manual labor and industrial training. They did get basic academics and learn English. What were some of the effects? The children were forced to stop speaking their tribal language. They were given Christian names and were focused to use them. The boys were forced to learn different things than the girls, not good or bad. Women learned how to sew, cook, serve food, and clean. Taught that girls had to create civilized Christian homes and give up their Indian ways. They were forced into child labor. They had to figure out how to get jobs and were taught how to be by white women. There was sexual abuse in the schools and physical abuse too. They would have their mouths washed out with soap for speaking their native tongue. Disease flourished, measles, influenza, flu, and TB. Many died. What did this cause? Students tried to protest and parents joined too. Tried to insist on better conditions for their children. The parents sent letters to the government. Children ran away from the schools quite often. What changed? The federal government created a report in 1929 describing the conditions, the poverty, and the poor treatment. This led to reform in the 1930s. John Collin led the Farm Action under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, resulted in the Indian Deal and the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934, which fought for more self-reliance in the Indian community. What didn't change? Boarding schools did not close completely. There is still one in existence today. The idea of culture genocide changed into more creations of an identity that was owned by the American Indians. Something learned. The fact that is even occur is amazing, and the fact that today we are faced with similar actions in our current presidential administration, where being different is something feared. It speaks to how much we have changed, but also how much we have stayed the same.